puns.
Oh, you wouldn't want that. I promise you. You don't want that.
If you thought we interrupted each other now. All right, how much
was
was
only
it?
given to the person who made the pun.
How much XP was it? 360.
363.
363 XP.
So we should be at 6764.
Get it? 3x.
Yes.
EX.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I know.
Give me an experience point.
Nope.
I want it.
So let me
recap. Yes.
Get my soundscapes back. I'm like not prepared.
You are not prepared.
I spent like 15 hours.
Somebody's gonna yell.
Eric, I spent like 15 hours a week on this campaign. All right.
Listen, man.
Whoa! Wow, he just threw that right back in your face.
Oh.
That's how Eric, and that's how Lily died.
Right? Yeah, I was like, that sounds peculiar, like someone who wants their character killed.
Fine,
Right,
Lurp is already made. I've already created it.
Lurp. You just get more ridiculous with it.
Gnomes, man.
So,
Lurpificus, Lurvivius. I can do it.
Get back to the page you guys are on. There we go.
Okay, so.
Oh my god, he actually has a script.
I'm just going to read off my notes. Anyone else can feel free to add or subtract whatever they want.
Okay.
Magic fungus. Ghouls came out of the ground.
Well, good thing your name is Aroxian, and that's why I'm doing this. You interrupting cow.
Go have more autism.
Yes, I'm very autistic.
All right. Go ahead and read from the notes, Steve. Let's see what you got down there.
So we left the town where a bunch of other monks gave Zerillion his staff that had an obsidian blade and a gold shaft. Wink, wink. I have shaft in quotes. I don't know why.
Good man.
I have note seek bog and bone are also in quotes, and bone has a bracket around it.
Okay.
And then I have an orange crystal. And
is this in JavaScript? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Sounds like open. Or on top of being autistic, it sounds like a rock scene is a closet sexual.
He's omnisexual. Orange crystal, bulb, plants, and undead. Captain Goustier of the Sea Maiden. I hope he's alive.
He never left the boat. Why would he be dead?
Because he's a sea captain, and being a pirate is very dangerous.
Well, he never said he was a pirate.
I maybe
He's
made
just
it.
a regular. He's not a pirate.
Well,
What?
I might have.
Notes are bad.
I might have made him a pirate.
He's not a pirate.
He's a pirate.
He says "yar" a lot, but I mean that's just because that's the only seafaring accent I know how to do.
I always hit him with Sir Davos. That's pretty close, but it's still a little.
And then something about slime eating the stone. And then we got into a fight with a bunch of things, and then that was it from my notes.
That sounds about right.
So you've got the right of it. You just finished up a fight with what Thufus identified as a ghast, followed by an entourage of ghouls. They are notably attracted to magic. Because they were covered.
If I could sweat, I would be sweating.
They're attracted to magic, and they were attracted to magic because they were infused with that parasite that's everywhere. That parasite was identified as, this is going to be a new term for you guys, a thalma parasite, which means it's a parasite that eats magic from things.
I've heard that before.
Can you type that?
I certainly will.
Thaumaturgical parasite.
Yeah, from thaumaturgy, thalma parasite. Yeah. Something that is a magical parasite, not only magical in nature, but also consumes magic as its primary food source. This was most noticeable when you threw a fireball at it, and it really liked it before it was, of course, burned to a crisp.
Good job. You killed it with an orgasm.
So
well, that actually kind of pleases my character.
It burned it. But then everything around that area started regrowing very quickly.
So what you're saying is regular fire would just be helpful.
Yeah, regular fire, magical fire, probably either would cancel out or help it to grow even, because it would regrow in the spot and then intensify around it, which is
When does
looks
magical
like what
fire
has
become
happened here.
regular fire?
What's that?
After you take the magic out.
Are we burning hydrocarbons or are we summoning it from one of
So, like,
the
if I produce
eight
flame and I
schools
get a
of-
torch and then I light the torch with the flame, is that
It
a
is no
magical
longer
torch?
magical. It's no longer magical fire. As long as it's burning fuel, it's not magical fire.
Okay.
Easy
That's
enough.
that is how I actually literally have a note about this like right in front of me. That's how I'm going to rule it.
Cool.
So if it's
You were
it's
prepared.
consuming fuel, the oxygen doesn't count. By the way, all you fucking
You've already thought
science
this out,
majors,
yeah.
I gotta
It's a
be
lot-
more specific here.
I was thinking about this too. Thinking about if I had to spill grease, but at the very least I could always squirt lamp oil at everything and set it ablaze.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
But if you cast fireball, it would be magical fire. The tree that it set on fire would not be magical fire because it would be consuming something to stay lit.
The oil it sets on fire would.
Right. If it set oil on fire, like if you covered something in lamp oil or a grease spell, set that on fire, that's not magical fire.
But the grease is magical fuel.
I'm
No.
going to punch you.
No, it's just regular.
It just summons
You-
grease.
you
It's
are-
not magical grease.
you-
it's just regular old grease.
you
If
are-
it were magical grease, then it
You
would
are
be magical
ruining
fire.
a good thing.
It really is.
But yeah, so there are.
So what you're
that's
saying,
how-
Thomas, what you're saying is that we need to have Lily make like a fuel pumping device, and then, we'll just spray everything in fuel and light it on fire, and then I end up with a flamethrower again in every campaign.
It's like,
Every
is this how
campaign.
you end up with a flamethrower in this campaign? Cool.
It seems like it.
All right.
Roxy hands Lily a
It was
crudely
bound to happen
drawn-
eventually.
a crudely
Oh.
drawn shape. It is cylindrical with a bulbousy tip, and
All I heard was I was like laughing, so all I heard was cylindrical with a bulbousy tip, and now I'm worried we're playing a different kind of role playing game than we were when we started.
Mhm.
Roxy handed Lily a crudely drawn sketch of what this fuel dispensing device could look like.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, Steve. Even in fantasy worlds, you're handing me dick pics.
Yep.
Oh boy. All right. So the moral of the story is that you've gotten some experience. Your ship is about 600 yards away. This is on the top of what was once a hill, but is now barely a small hillock because it's been sort of dissolved into the marsh a little bit. You are free to explore these ruins. Right before we left off, you wanted to poke around in some of these barrels and crates
Yes.
to remind you to what we were doing immediately afterwards.
You guys do that. I think me and Z here are gonna take a short rest.
I
And
would
also
agree
need
with
to take a
that.
short
And
rest
as I
because
do
I
that,
used all my
I'm
level
like
3
waving my
spells.
hand around, and there's just like my blood all over my hand. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna
everywhere.
Critically injured. Yeah, you can
Sorry.
take a short rest here. That's fine.
Sorry, one more
Awesome.
brief interruption.
Mhm.
There's a 4-picture post I just saw. It's like, Microsoft says they won't sell Xbox One without a Kinect. Next picture. Microsoft will stop forcing Xbox One buyers to get a Kinect too. Xbox boss Phil Spencer says gamers still love Kinect. Microsoft kills off Kinect, stop manufacturing.
A tale in 4X.
Yeah, it's a story in 4 parts.
That's beautiful.
Still better than Twilight.
Yeah, of course. Alrighty.
Alright, so we're resting. Alright.
No, wait, a short rest, so it doesn't really matter for me. I guess I'll look into whatever treasures around.
Let me replenish my
that-
hit points and
That makes
done.
sense in context.
All right, guys, feeling much better.
Hmm.
All right. Spellulon, just let me know which barrels you would like to look through first, which crates you want to prod open.
Let's start with that barrel.
Okay, so
Okay,
there's definitely ghouls inside these barrels.
And what do you want to do with that barrel?
I open it.
Okay, from the top.
Yeah, where else would I?
Okay.
No, he's gonna lift it up and then try to pry the bottom off.
I've seen that before in warehouses.
Well, and the reason I was asking was because this barrel has both a nailed down top and a bung in the side.
You might have mentioned that. I mean, that it's full
Well,
of liquid then.
It's very likely full of liquid.
Oh well, I guess I'll go get a little cup and see what comes pouring out.
All right.
You may have just referred to this as a cask or something. That would be.
Well, I was getting to it.
He just used the wrong word.
This barrel and the barrel to the right, to the top right.
Is this also a cask?
Yes, they are both casks of some kind.
What about this?
That is, it looks like a barrel similar to this, but it's been partially broken open and it's covered in that parasite fungus, the mold.
Man, it looks like a barrel. Okay, so some kind of delicious wine or beer comes pouring out, maybe?
Yep, so you procure a small cup from your pack. And with a little bit of work, you're able to prick a small hole in the wax seal surrounding the bung. And a smoky amber liquid comes pouring out. This is very likely some kind of blended whiskey.
Oh, this is coming with us.
Something high. It's fairly high proof.
Excellent.
This is now my property.
Yeah, likely more than high proof enough to burst into flame if flame were applied to it.
This is very much.
That's how you know.
What a waste, though.
Yeah.
And yes, it is. You know what?
Is this happening during the short rest or after?
During.
This is during.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what's going on.
You know what? Roll a. What's the knowledge check we should have your roll here for?
Are you trying to eat the corpse, Alex?
Liquor identification.
No, I'm healing myself with hit points.
I guess just either a history. History seems like the closest, maybe.
History is going to be the closest. Yep.
Oh, I thought those were attack rolls.
Oh no.
He's like biting the corpse.
Nom nom nom.
So yes, you're not familiar enough with this realm's liquored offerings to produce a guaranteed identification of what this is, where it could be from.
But I can figure it's a high quality liquor.
Yeah, it's a high quality liquor, probably blended from several sources and then placed into this barrel to age. This was likely some kind of distillery.
Interesting.
Or at least it was likely on this property.
All right.
Now will you go ahead and roll an investigation check for me before you leave that barrel? Perfect. So, while you're tasting
it's not haunted, is it?
No, it's not haunted. It should have been haunted, but it's not haunted. You brush the barrel, and some moldering plant matter brushes away on your hand, and you see the beginnings of some lettering.
Well, obviously, I will investigate that further. I'm going to brush that off there and see what else it says.
Sorry, kid, nothing personal. Then a ninja pops up behind you.
Goddamn ninjas. No worries.
This is hard to type. Hang on. We doing all right over there?
Yeah, sorry, Mom, but just you all right, Mom? Sure. Okay, be careful. Love you, bye. Yeah, she's all right.
It just sounded like somebody died, and I was like, we lost Alex. He was a good man.
Be careful, you said to the person already injured.
You're right. That's super helpful. I'm really just a font of usefulness here.
Yeah, something.
So a lot of the lettering is worn away, but this is what you're able to transcribe onto a small note to keep for later.
Okay. If anybody wants to throw in some vowels or something into there, go right ahead. I'm going to take a look at this next barrel here.
So looking at that, you can see because the first thing you do with this barrel is look for lettering almost out of habit, and that's
Well, it definitely ends with vineyards and distillery.
Yeah. All I can think of is Blackbriar Distillery, but this isn't Skyrim.
Right.
Is this in common? Was it in common?
mm-hmm.
All right.
Brobleek.
Well, it's a fantasy word. It could be blippity bloppity bloop or something. I don't know. It could be anything.
Flippity gibbet.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it's bleak. Like Bleak Vineyards and Distillery.
Well, what's the BR at the front?
Or bloke. I guess it could be bloke. Oh, it could be oak. Well, it's hard to tell because how many spaces there are there?
That's
Briar.
the second barrel.
Briar Black. It was Briar.
Well, that's all right. So that's now he fucked everything up.
I forgot a C in the other one.
He forgot a space or a C.
I forgot a
so
space
I
for
couldn't
the
figure
C.
it out.
It was hard to type out.
So it was Blackbriar Vineyards and Distillery, or Briar Black.
You should
in
have
this
typed
case.
it out in your note. You just copy paste it.
Yeah, I should have.
All right.
But I was like,
I am challenging Eric to DM and put up with everyone else's bullshit.
We're all gonna be that guy.
I just had the full. I had the full letter. I had like the full name in my notes, and I was like, it should be like worn away, so I should leave some letters out.
It's interesting. I discarded my very first guess because I thought, like it didn't quite match up. Like I was thinking Blackbriar or Briar Black, and then it
Almost
was.
as if Thomas has also played Skyrim.
How many hours?
Actually, I've never run into Briar Black Vineyards and Distillery.
Blackbriar.
Well, I never ran into that in Skyrim. I did not know this was not an original creation, but then again, nothing really is.
Of course not.
We're playing in a game inspired by Tolkien's world, so
I mean, you're in generic spooky swamp number 349. All right, like this isn't like groundbreaking fantasy fiction here.
Yeah. It's alright though. I still like it.
So this too is full of a liquid. It's got a bung. This bung is sealed with a different color wax, however.
Well, I will pierce that bung as well.
Well, bet you will.
You guys gotta stop saying bung. I can't.
Why? It's called a bung. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
There are other
makes me
words
so
for it.
uncomfortable.
I need TP for my bunghole.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
All right, Thomas, I
can't
penetrate
stop
this
hearing
bung.
that.
And this is full
you don't
of
penetrate the bung.
I'm penetrating this bung.
a very pale in color liquid that has an immediate piney, resiny scent to it.
Ooh, gin.
Mm.
Not my character would necessarily know. Let's roll. It's gin.
Well, yeah, it's almost certainly gin. It's either gin or a double IPA.
Both are good.
That's a pretty big jump from one to the other.
I would legitimately drink both of them.
I mean, if I have a
That's a good
mouthful
one.
of one and a mouthful of the other, and I don't think it's what I think it is, you're in for a rough Saturday.
No,
I mean, if you can hold two mouthfuls of something at the same time, then I got a career opportunity for you.
it is a barrel of gin. This cask appears to be charred and blackened. Would you go ahead and roll me another history check? Man, you in the 12s. So
He's just into him today.
you do recall reading somewhere in an interplanar, tome or scroll during your, assuredly long education.
Yes, it was very long, I assure you.
Yeah.
I definitely paid attention to my classes. That's why I'm so powerful.
Trying to skip to the part where you got to set things on fire. But yeah, you do vaguely recall reading about some kind of swamp in this particular region where the local townships were famous for their production of various liquors. This appears to be one such distillery now in ruins.
I claim it.
The other interesting thing about these barrels is that they have a year stamped on them.
Now that is interesting. And what year does it say? And also then remind me what year it is now in our campaign.
It is... Just a minute.
The year of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
The same year it is every day, Wiki.
So the year is year 512.
All right.
You know for a fact that the current year is 514, meaning these barrels are only 2 years old and likely were put here to age for significantly longer than that.
Interesting.
Meaning, if these were made... Okay, what were you going to say? Sorry?
So, if they're not done curing yet, then they shouldn't be good. But I'm assuming that upon trying some of this has been perfectly aged.
Yes.
How would you know? You're a robot from a different universe.
I know my...
Listen, there are galaxies made out of alcohol.
Yep. Yeah,
stuff like this is quite valuable in the robot realm. It has to be imported.
Ooh, robot lore. We're getting robot lore tonight, guys. I didn't think we were
Just
gonna
a
get
little,
I didn't think we were ever gonna get robot lore.
Oh, you are. I have about 8 to 12 pages.
There's gonna be and yeah, we're gonna work in the robot lore. At one point, I'm going to approach Dustin and say, "Dustin, it's time."
All right, and then hopefully I'll have it in a presentable shape. I promised it to. I said 2 weeks, four months ago.
And yeah, well, but eventually we're going to get to the part in the campaign that everyone will hopefully affectionately deem the robot part.
You mean the part where the robot ally becomes the main villain of the story?
Listen,
that could happen at literally any time.
Listen,
Let's be real.
Such an generic anime story.
Top 10 anime betrayals right there.
Yeah. All right. Oh wait, we're not here. I'm still resting.
All right. Yep.
Well,
if you guys want to come back from the long rest and participate, all you have to do is let me know.
Hey,
it's a long rest now.
No. It was a short rest.
Back.
Short rest. So you guys are just taking a breather.
Okay.
You guys are just taking a breather. Dustin poked around some casks.
Is there any thieves' cant that I've seen
around here?
Yeah.
Any what?
The Thieves' Cant is a special language that only rogues can read. That is frequently left in
hobo markings.
Yeah, it's literally based on hobo markings. Left for each other. You see scratchings on what was once a fence post that might have marked this as a mark.
Guys, I found a mark.
As well as markings that might have indicated heavy cargo needing to be moved if one were to rob it. But that could have been referring to any number of things, and clearly there's nothing left to rob here.
So when do we get to the steampunk part of it? My part.
It's coming, man.
I'm kidding.
Everybody gets a part. All right?
I'm kidding.
Everybody.
Just trying to distract you.
Yeah,
it's working. It works really well. I'm very distractible. All right, who wants to investigate what now? If you guys still want to poke around this ruin, assuming.
The only other thing that seems to have interest in this room is that half-ruined cask.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I am going to join Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot, what are you doing in here? Oh my God! Then I see the whiskey and the gin, and
it's already been cleaned.
And I am filled with glee. Roxian it almost seems like he's like floating like his full-blooded Fey brethren in the Feywild. Is there a Feywild? Whatever. Wherever the Fey come from, I am glowing because Roxian is a working alcoholic.
Is there water on this map? Somewhere?
Working alcoholic.
On this particular map,
Yeah.
yeah, so whenever you see these darker portions, it's because it's sort of just above the water line. There's pools of ankle to calf deep. For you, it would be like calf to mid thigh deep water.
So like I'm in water right
now. Let me find your character model, and I will let you know. Yes.
When am I not in water? Am I in water here?
You're in like your ankle deep worth of water there.
So it's like a. Alright,
so
well,
like,
they're in there. I'm just looking.
That's not water. That's not water.
I'm just trying to figure out how we're gonna leave them.
It's you got here through a small path, and this looks like it's sunken down. The weight of the stones has caused large depressions that have filled up with swamp water.
I am going to assist Spelulon the Mighty Mage with his investigation. Because I am also proficient in investigation.
Guys, we really should get going. We're still, like, surrounded by this dangerous magical mold.
Shut up, Heaven's here! 17.
Yeah, what's in this other barrel?
That barrel looks like it. So you can no longer see any lettering on it, but it looks to be the same make as the other barrels. Probably designed for holding either more whiskey or a similar spirit. It looks like it fell over sometime as the floor sank, and that might have cracked it a little bit, allowing some minor seepage. And then it looks like it was slowly split open by the slow force of that parasitic mold creeping into it and forcing its way in and consuming it. And now the whole barrel is practically bursting with that mold.
I turn to Spelulon and I go, "We need to drink this all right now." Very
and
serious.
this is.
I would like to take a small sample of that mold there for study later.
Okay, it's done. Consider it done. You can go ahead and add it to your inventory if you'd like.
Okay.
As it consumes all the magical items. Sorry.
No. I
just keep it in a small leather sack.
If it's contained, it'll be fine.
And then,
so lastly, when you take a long fall, he's gonna ask you to roll a d20 once, and you're gonna be like, "I wonder why he's having me roll this d20."
Eric, don't.
And he's
give
not
it
gonna
away.
say why.
No, but it's
to only
interesting.
let Eric talk,
It's
but
interesting that the mold went after the liquor because, as you've been able to discern, the things it usually eats are magical in nature.
Perhaps it is a magical liquor.
We both come to that conclusion, and I go, "I knew magic was next to godliness."
Basically the same thing.
If only
I
it's on the
nod.
party who could
I give
confirm
you
this suspicion.
I give you one of those robust, manly nods.
We both
From a separate room.
I stroke my beard and nod.
God, Jesus, just jack each other off and get over it.
We're trying, but you're interrupting the roleplay.
Well, you guys are in separate rooms, so you're really role-playing really hard here.
Oh, he left.
Yeah, we're going over here to check this out, so to keep things moving.
Yeah.
So in here, it looks like these are largely ruined remains of imported rugs and furs. They're not from creatures that would be regional to the swamp because it's cool yet still fairly humid here. But these animals have very thick coats and look much more northerly. These were probably goods accepted in trade for liquor.
So what are we looking at here? Like Grumpkin skins?
Excuse me?
I think we're looking at like whatever this world's beaver and squirrel and rabbit and chinchilla skin furs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that and then some tapestries. Eric, you're not over there, but I'd still like you to roll me a history check.
Ooh, it might be a gnomish tapestry.
Gnomes can't make tapestries.
A lot of. Oh, apparently Thomas doesn't come up as DM. What is Thomas?
What?
What is your name in this game? I guess you're just
Thomas.
DM.
Yeah,
In
Thomas.
my games, I'm DM.
Alright, history. Is it a magical thing? Or some sort of tech? Or alchemical object?
History? No, it's just an old tapestry. So that is good enough to let you know this is definitely 100% a gnomish tapestry.
I roll my eyes.
Cool, I will identify it as soon as I enter that room.
Oh, you get to enter
Just
the room.
1 second. Just 1 second here.
You know, you can just talk to me. I'm just doing it so I didn't have to interrupt their roleplay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were doing it privately, so I wanted to respond privately.
No.
Lily isolates a small sample of mold onto a dry portion of stone and showers some small sparks onto it with her tinderbox. She may as well hold a small flame to it. The mold immediately withers, shrivels, and dies.
Very susceptible to fire. What my experiment.
Looks like it is not. You marked it free booze. But yeah, the tapestries are largely ruined, but the images are still legible. So even though they don't hold any cash value, they're still somewhat somewhat legible.
Lily, you feel any sentimental value for this trash?
For what? I haven't seen anything.
Will you enter the damn room?
I don't want to.
Get the fuck in there.
Well, then what are we doing, man?
We're done. Let's go get a boat and carry this liquor off.
All right, second experiment. Second mold experiment. Lily isolates a second sample of mold and feeds it a piece of gassed skin off of the corpse. After you place the piece of skin on the mold, nothing happens for a moment. And then, slowly but surely, but much more quickly than you've seen plants move in the past, the mold wraps itself over the top and sort of intertwines little tendrils through the wet, messy, cut off parts of the flesh, working into it and covering it with a thin fuzz of mold that's rapidly growing firmer and thicker.
That's scary. Guys, this mold's pretty fucking scary. We shouldn't be here. Let's get out of here.
Why? What's wrong?
It's getting all firm and thick, man. It's disconcerting of its own right.
I fed
you know
some
what?
mold
I'm just
some
not going to
skin.
use adjectives anymore.
That one wasn't even like poking fun.
Pronouns
just
only.
Commenting on the fact that it's a problem.
We're only going to use gerunds from now on.
I don't even know what those are anymore. I forgot what those meant.
Oh, look, a cool tapestry. That reminds me of home. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Beautiful. 10 out of 10 role playing. All right, let's go.
Top tier.
Does anyone else have any other business they would like to accomplish in these ruins? Maybe look at the ruins themselves?
Sure. I mean, I don't know how much I can achieve with any of those kind of rolls anyway, but...
You're welcome to give it a shot here. Just go ahead and roll investigation.
Oh, whoops, wrong one.
You perceive that you should roll investigation. Hang on. The roll didn't pop up for me.
The investigation 19.
Oh.
I don't believe him.
I haven't seen it. There it is.
There it is. It popped up. Okay.
I'm just lagging apparently.
So it would seem. All right. I was like, Alex, I believe you, but I'm like hesitant to do so.
Hey, that's valid.
So examining the layout of the building, this looks like it was meant to house at least 10 people, and you see some scattered ruined outbuildings around, as well as what must have once been some kind of orchard or vineyard. So clearly this was a thriving location. And it occurs to you that on your way up here, you did see some ruined outbuildings by the river proper. that were very likely some kind of shipping docks for this area. Suggests that they must have done most of their trade by river, which jives with what you know of how the economy used to work here in the swamps.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. If you guys are looking for a real world context, it was a lot like early Mississippi.
Cool.
Those three
All right.
river being
I learned
trade.
something new about Mississippi today.
Hey, Cerulean, what are you looking at?
Nothing really important.
Okay.
Sorry. No, it's. I mean, some interesting historical information. I don't know if we can apply it to anything useful.
About what? I haven't heard anything.
All right. I repeat some of the stuff that Thomas just said.
Okay.
The easy way out.
I see.
Alright.
I see. I hand you a silver platter, and you throw it in my face.
What did you want me to tell you there?
Just,
I wanted you
to
to
just
beautifully paraphrase it.
Don't mind me, guys.
Okay.
Lily's just about to go drown herself in this lake over here because we don't want to leave this decrepit building.
I'm
that's
ready
not
to go. I've
Alright.
been
Yeah,
ready.
They're all ready to go. I don't want to.
You all sack up, you grab the booze, you get out of here.
Right on. No, I mean, to be fair, I wasn't actually trying to like shit on you there, Thomas. Just I knew that they wanted to leave.
Oh, I forgot I did that.
Oh, hey, we're on a boat.
I was gonna put more water here eventually, but I don't have the same water model.
Water, but no, leave it. That's beautiful.
That's
Water,
amazing.
but I'm real lazy.
Now it's purple. Purple water.
Oh God. Let's get that on out of there. There we go.
Right, it should be blue.
Anyway, so you arrive back on the ship, to worried faces peering over the railings at you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're not mortals. We have returned with treasures. For us, not for you.
You're greeted with a fairly hearty "Yar, it'd be good to see you again. I was worried the swamp
pirate!
took you."
Not yet. Not yet, my friend.
Good. Yes, blue squares. It's perfect.
Hey, I'm trying. I'm making waves here.
I'm just kidding.
I feel
And
a
some
certain-
lazy motherfuckers putting blue squares.
Thomas,
Ruining my
I
waves.
feel a certain kinship with Captain Coustier. I ask him, can I steer
You
the
can't
ship?
pronounce his name right though.
That's how it is.
That's just how it is.
If you don't think it be like it be, but it is.
What's your question, Steve?
But it do.
I want to steer the ship.
Seems like a bad idea. Can I restrain him?
Guys, I'm really good at this. Trust me.
Also, can my token get put onto the ship?
Just put yourself on the map.
How the fuck do I do that?
You drag yourself from the character sheet. You just grab in the journal, just make it so it's highlighted, and then just drag yourself onto the map.
Boop.
Do you guys not know this?
I knew it. I just did
Oh
it.
God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
Hi,
What have
my
I done?
name is Foxy,
Oh my God.
and I
Stop! No more.
so many. We're on there. So many me. I am the greatest. So, my name is Lily, and
Let's just go ahead and
But which one's the real Lily?
I don't. Well, the one that's left. There you go.
Yes, I am a
Solve that
clone.
little-
I survived the real one.
Solve that little dimensional crisis right away. You can keep your fucking Szechuan sauce.
I was doing a weird experiment. Sorry. All right, so Roxanne is trying to take the wheel from
Yeah.
the captain.
No, I don't try to forcefully take it. I'm not trying to cause a mutiny. I
Yet.
ask him politely. I tell him I have some sailing experience. Can I?
Aye,
steer
well-
the ship?
Ye may, but mind the rocks and mind the keel on her.
That's why he wanted to do it. He wanted to fucking
I'm
use
pre-
his vehicle role.
yeah, I did. All right, because Thomas said no boats, and he gave us a boat, so I'm steering the ship. Don't you take this? Don't you take this from me?
I shoot a hole in the boat.
I start
With your
whistling
arrows.
a sea shanty song.
Do I have any sea shanties in here? Hang on.
Well, I rolled
Yeah.
13, so I hope you got a good one.
Yo, man. That's actually
You know what?
deep.
Oh, that one. Hang on. You know what?
I hope Desiree's super confused right now and like grading papers.
Desiree is not here because she's carving pumpkins with her friends.
Ah.
That I
Lame.
was notably not invited to because it's all work friends, so it would be weird. But like,
God damn
Oh,
it,
her
you
though.
know why?
husband.
You know why? Her work husband isn't gonna like meeting her real husband.
there.
Perfect.
I mean, hey, if I was like 10 fucking somebody and then I met someone like a 96-foot dick that was actually fucking them, I wouldn't really like that in meeting either. So, whatever.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Nothing.
Nothing important. Don't worry about
Go to bed, son.
it.
Alrighty. So this is actually a pretty legit. I just found something that said sea shanty in the jukebox at random and played it.
Wow.
So I'm
that's
glad that worked.
That's a victory for RNG labeling.
Yeah, I
Right?
was like-
Especially
I
for
was
us
like,
who grew up in the Kazaa era where that Nirvana song ends up being, something completely not.
yeah,
Yeah.
Canon indeed by Green Day. I miss Kazaa labeling, man.
Fucking what? Canon and Green Day. I'm gonna have to save that one for later use. That's pretty amazing.
Roxanne, how are you singing melody and harmony for yourself?
Oh, it's an old hat.
Wait,
It's a half-elf skill. Don't worry about it. I say in tune and in rhythm.
and with just a 13 on the performance roll as well.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not a
Jesus.
bard?
Oh my god, that's what he's secretly been a bard doing a performance this entire time.
Yeah, making everyone think he was a rogue. That's just how good of a bard he is.
I'd be impressed.
Yeah, me too. No. So you get along okay. You stick mostly to the center of the river channel here,
Mm-hmm.
and make slightly slower progress than Captain Gulstair was making. But for your first time steering a ship, and the first time steering a ship of this size, you're doing fairly well.
Hooray!
Yay for not sucking. Very much.
So at this point, it's going to be, where's my map? There it is. 3 days till you get to where your destination.
All right.
And
Full
we're
health.
going to long rest it right now.
Right on.
Are there any on-ship interactions anyone would like to take? Would anyone like? Are there certain things people are looking for over the side of the railings?
I
kind of
do
broke.
want to talk to
Earl.
Cerulean. Like, I'm gonna pull him aside and talk to him at least on one of the days.
Is there a button somewhere on this sheet where you just hit like long rest and it, resets all your spell slots and whatnot?
I mean, depending on how well the API updated, but I mean, it's just about just lower the slots remaining to whatever the max your max is.
I can remember what it was now. That's the problem.
Hang on
I'll
one
have to look
second.
at my
I'm right
notes.
back, guys.
It doesn't.
Okay.
You never wrote down what your slot total or your slot totals and slots were.
I did somewhere. I haven't needed it. I always just remember. Now I don't remember.
Wow, that is D&D bad housekeeping 101. I'll just remember.
I'm just looking forward to the point where you guys think that you can keep carrying those barrels around.
They're on the ship.
Yeah,
We've
you're gonna eventually want to take them off the ship.
We've paid the captain coin to not touch those while we drink them. But yeah, I pull on one of the days. I pull Zerillian aside, and I ask him, so what specifically was your relationship with those monks in town? Were those the ones who trained you, or are they just part of your order?
Um, well, yes and no. It's difficult, but essentially they indirectly trained me, I think, but I'm not sure. But they're definitely part of my order. Almost certainly much higher up than anybody I'd met previously. I would suspect that they're probably the ones making most of the decisions,
I'm coming back,
or
guys.
at least
Sorry.
direct agents.
Here I am.
We're role playing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I could not say for certain. It's not really my place to ask them directly.
Do
At
you
least not yet.
do you think we can trust them? Because this weapon was just in town, while a thing that should not be was very close by.
Well, firstly, I'd say we probably don't have a whole lot of other options, but I've already staked my entire life and of the order, so you can trust them as far as you can trust me, and I trust me.
I'm going to insight check that.
Go ahead.
That was my attempt at mammal humor.
Okay.
Did it not work?
It did
He certainly
not.
he certainly seems trustworthy. Dishonesty doesn't quite seem to be in a reptile's nature.
I mean, I understand the concept of saying things that are not true out of character, but I'm not particularly good at it because I don't usually understand why you would want to do that.
Right, or which thing to make untrue.
Right. It's like I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's clearly the problem here is, pies. Too many pies are the issue. It's like there aren't even any pies here. See?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
The sky is orange, and yes, I did steal that.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, just fuck it up. I'm learning though. I'm watching you mammals. It's very fascinating.
I say it was they called it the Pillar of Worlds.
Indeed.
Just be careful with it. And
Oh, I intend to.
it's me. It's very shiny. It's got gold in it. There's no real way to hide it, but you're gonna have to be extra alert. Where we were going, it's probably gonna be another shitty orange town, but now it's gonna be in the swamp. And
believe me, friend Araxian.
Yes, and it looks like these people's economics are in the shitter.
I understand, and I appreciate your concern for Diraxian. However, I did grow up as a street urchin in a very poor part of a very unpleasant town, so I am familiar with the dangers of walking around with things that are ostentatious. Also, I would gladly lay down my life before I lost control or possession of this weapon.
About that.
Oh, I hope you're not going to ask me to lay down my life for anything. That would be terribly annoying.
I am going to. Roxian's going to say that. I've heard tales of certain weapons that can talk to you. My grandfather would mention of their value, and he did mention that just like creatures like you and I, some of them are good, and some of them are bad. And if anything starts going bad, I feel like we should have a code word to not alert anyone else, but so we can start working on breaking its possible hold over you. It's called Pillar of Worlds. It doesn't. It just doesn't sit right with me. I do not. Something about it's off, man. And until we know for sure, I would just be very careful about it, especially if you start hearing voices that aren't ours.
See,
the staff chimes in and says that's a good idea.
Wait for real though, or
no. I was just kidding.
Because I would not be surprised. Now I'm gonna say, see, my clutchmates never understood why I valued time amongst mammals, and this is exactly. See, I did not consider that possibility, and that is extremely prudent.
And
I will come up with a suitable code term, something that we wouldn't normally say, and I think I can agree to that absolutely.
because that staff looks very, very important, and
Oh, I have no doubt. It is definitely a foremost matter on my mind at all times. The careful tending to and caretaking of such a thing with such a momentous title.
yeah, just be careful with it, man.
Always.
Especially with those ghouls and ghasts and that shit that eats magic, I would just be cautious around that. I wouldn't trust. I mean, I would trust it as an extension of yourself, as all you know, as I do with my rapier and my short swords. But I wouldn't put your full faith and credit in it.
I will keep this in mind.
And,
You've given me much to think about, friend. Thank you.
And I walk away.
Okay. I will ponder deeply, which doesn't look any different from the way I'm regularly looking because I don't have like those muscles in my face that make expressions very well. It's just like skin stretched over bone mostly, but I am pondering deeply.
Perhaps
Maybe there's, like, a little bit
your
of a head
first
tilt.
eyelid closes, but the second one stays open.
Right? There's like there's that slight head tilt to the side, like when a dog is confused.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think we're good. Unless anybody else wants to take care of anything or have any more secret meetings with me, I'm available for secret meetings from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you can always make an appointment in advance.
Okay. Noted.
Meanwhile, at the Justice League.
You mean
The Thomas
meanwhile in the Hall of
Give
Justice?
me
you
just